Well, we continue to track Debby as it dumps a huge amount of rainfall across the southeast, the mid-Atlantic, and now the northeast over the coming days, along with severe weather. So some incredible rainfall amounts over the last few days from Debby, a huge swath of over 10 inches of rain from coastal Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and now into the mid-Atlantic. It's only moved from the panhandle of Florida to the mid-Atlantic over the course of the entire week so far, which is just incredible. But Mount Pleasant, one of the spots coming in with some of the higher rainfall amounts, 17.7 inches of rain. Just absolutely incredible amounts of rainfall. Flood watches all the way up into upstate New York now, as Debby will push some rain there. Not nearly as much, but several inches of rainfall. We also have a tornado watch for parts of Virginia and North Carolina because of the sheer and severe weather potential with Debby. So here's where it's sitting now, still spinning some huge amounts of moisture across the southeast here, across the Carolinas, and slowly moving to the north and east. It will finally pick up speed as it gets into some of these mid-latitude winds and upper-level winds moving across parts of Canada here as we head into late in the weekend and next week. But it has been moving very slow the last several days, and that's why it's been dumping so much rainfall. So over the next 48 hours, it will continue moving into Pennsylvania and New York, and then that's when it will finally be moving much more quickly again. But we'll still see some offshore bands of showers and thunderstorms over the next couple of days across the mid-Atlantic. So high risk of flooding here for parts of Virginia and North Carolina, but even a moderate risk of flooding all the way up into upstate New York and even Vermont from what will be left of Debby as we head into the rest of the weekend. So still expecting several more inches of rainfall, lighter amounts from what we've seen the last several days as it moves north of the Carolinas, but still a lot of rainfall and still enough to create some flooding concerns. We also have a slight risk of severe weather for Virginia and North Carolina today. Mainly a tornado threat. As we've talked about, these tropical systems have a lot of shear in them once they make landfall, and that's still the case. We are seeing some at least modest, significant tornado parameter values here across North Carolina and Virginia, especially along the coastal areas. And of course, we're not done. August and September is the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. We're going to be watching this area in the Atlantic over the next 7 days. 30% chance of tropical cyclone formation here. And when we look at the European model, ensemble models, it is showing some activity here over the next 7 days that we'll have to be keeping an eye on, following a similar path potentially to Debby. But as far as severe storms go in the plains in the central U.S., there's a lid on that right now because we're going to be looking at much cooler than normal temperatures for most of the central and northern plains, 10 to 20 degrees below normal temperatures. That's going to keep a lid on any severe weather potential, at least for the central U.S. So it's all tropical weather here over the next few days.